Almost every day of every year, an archaeologist uncovers something new. Well, not all of those discoveries are worth your time, but a lot of them are. Here on this channel, we cut out the dull ones and bring you only the most remarkable. With that in mind, here are the 15 most incredible and mysterious archaeological finds that really exist. But before we move, if you're new here, be sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss any of our future stories. Alright, let's start off with number 15, Bronze Age Wheel. Must Farm Quarry, which is located near Peterborough in England, has been called the British Pompeii for some pretty good reason. In 2016, archaeologists unearthed a remarkably intact Bronze Age wooden wheel there, dating back roughly 3,000 years. It measures 3 feet across and was so well preserved in the waterlogged silt that it still had part of its axle attached. That kind of preservation is nearly unheard of for organic materials from that era. Alongside it, researchers found jars, bowls, and wooden platters, some containing remnants of barley, wheat, pork, and beef. These traces offer a vivid look into the diet of Bronze Age communities. The presence of the wheel suggests contact with nearby settlements, trading goods, or traveling between regions on rudimentary carts. This wasn't some primitive backwater, it was an active, connected society. The site continues to yield new information, but that wheel remains a highlight, not just because of its rarity, but because it proves that the people of Must Farm lived lives far more complex than they're often given credit for. And we think we're the smartest humans. Number 14. Neanderthal Eagle Talons. We've spent decades misjudging Neanderthals as primitive and unsophisticated, but discoveries like this one are changing that narrative for good. More than a century ago, archaeologists in Krapina, Croatia, uncovered a set of eagle talons inside a Neanderthal rock shelter. For years, no one paid them much attention, but a 2021 study revealed something game-changing. These talons were decorated and likely worn as jewelry. That instantly places symbolic thought, artistic expression, and even personal style in the Neanderthal world 130,000 years ago. Just the act of catching eagles alone would have required planning, teamwork, and skill. And then using the talons for ornamentation, well, now that's next level. This isn't caveman behavior, it's 100% human behavior. These decorated talons represent the oldest known jewelry made by Neanderthals and force us to reconsider how we've portrayed them. They weren't stumbling through prehistory, they had culture, they had meaning, and they had identity. The more we dig, the more it becomes clear, Neanderthals were never as simple as we made them out to be. Number 13. Ancient Trousers of the Tarim Basin. Back in 2014, archaeologists working near the Tarim Basin made an unexpected discovery. A 3,000-year-old pair of wool trousers buried with a man in the Yanghai graveyard. The design wasn't primitive at all. These pants had a tailored fit and decorative stitching that looked surprisingly modern. Far from just rough cloth wrapped around the waist, they were built for mobility, likely crafted for horseback riding or long treks across rough terrain. While Ötzi the Iceman was found with leg coverings in 1991, his clothing consisted of separate leggings. This pair, on the other hand, was a full garment, recognizable as actual trousers in today's sense. The people who made them probably understood functionality better than we give them credit for, especially in regions where riding and combat were part of life. The cut, the material, and the placement in the burial site all suggest that this wasn't just daily wear, it was crafted with purpose, pride, and possibly even social meaning. But sadly, we know nothing much about them. Number 12. Ceremonial Chariot at Pompeii. Ongoing excavations at Pompeii continue to deliver rare glimpses into Roman life, and one of the most striking finds in recent years is a ceremonial chariot unearthed at a villa just outside the city walls. Despite the damage caused by the eruption of Mount Vesuvius in 79 CE, the vehicle survived in exceptional condition. Intricate carvings of satyrs and cupids are still visible, giving researchers insight into its decorative use. The four iron wheels, armrests, and cushioned backrests suggest it was built for style and ceremony, not everyday transport. Most likely, it was used during festivals or high-status events, possibly even weddings. While chariots aren't rare at Pompeii, few remain this intact. The surrounding building collapsed, but the chariot stood its ground, protected under volcanic debris. Its preservation is a reminder of how much detail from Roman life can survive under catastrophic conditions. Today it's being carefully conserved, adding another layer to what we know about elite mobility and ritual in the ancient world. Number 11. Omo Island Silver Hoard. In 2015, Robert Hemmingson was laying fiber optic cable on the Danish island of Omo when a casual conversation with the landowner changed everything. The farmer mentioned he'd once come across an old silver coin in one of his fields. Being a metal detector enthusiast, Robert couldn't resist. He returned later with his gear and struck history. He ended up finding a stash of Viking-era silver nearly 1,000 years old. Archaeologists from the Zeeland Museum were called in, and together they uncovered over 550 silver fragments, coins, bracelets, and 10th century jewelry. But what puzzled everyone was the complete absence of any nearby settlement. No house, no ruins. Just a random field filled with silver. The coins came from all over Germany, England, Poland, and even as far as Central Asia. Whoever buried it had traveled extensively and likely buried their wealth with a plan to return. They never did. That one conversation, a single field, and a curious detectorist led to one of Denmark's most impressive silver finds to date. Number 10. The Chariot Tomb of Henan. Well, now this one is super weird. A massive burial pit uncovered in 2017 in Henan province turned out to be a full-blown funeral complex. Inside this pit were dozens of chariots and the skeletons of more than 100 horses. Based on the layout and construction, experts believe this was the tomb of a powerful figure from the ancient Jiang state around 2,400 years ago. Unfortunately, the tomb had been looted in antiquity, likely stripping it of inscriptions or valuables that could have identified the person buried there. Still, one chariot remained, measuring nearly 8 feet long and 6 feet wide, decorated with bone and bronze. The scale of the funeral and the resources involved point to someone with immense status. The Jiang state itself, once a dominant force in northern China, eventually collapsed in a brutal civil war and was swallowed up during the Qin conquests. What remains now is just this solemn evidence: horses, wheels, and silence, offering a glimpse of power lost to history and an identity erased by time and theft. Number 9. The palindromic amulet of Neapophos. A tiny artifact found in Neapophos, Cyprus, late in 2014, caught the attention of archaeologists not because of its size, but because of what was etched into it. It's a 1500-year-old amulet carved with a 59-letter inscription that reads the same forward and backward. Translating from Greek, the text says, "Iowe is the bearer of the secret name. The Lion of Re is secure in his shrine." That symmetry isn't just for show. At the time, palindromes were believed to have protective or magical properties. The amulet's reverse side carries miniature depictions of a bandaged figure, likely a nod to Egyptian funerary traditions. That fusion of cultures, Greek language, Egyptian symbology, and magical intent shows how interconnected spiritual beliefs were in the ancient Mediterranean. This wasn't just jewelry. It was a spell worn to protect its owner from harm or misfortune. Though its full meaning may be lost, the artifact survives as a rare early example of mystical wordplay and cultural blending, still sparking debate among scholars. Number 8. Viking ring, with Arabic inscription. In the 19th century, archaeologists excavating a 9th century grave in Birka, Sweden, made a discovery that still sparks debate today: a silver finger ring bearing an Arabic inscription. The grave, located on the island of Björkö, also held coins from Afghanistan and other imported goods. But it was the ring that stood out. The Arabic inscription, interpreted by some scholars to mean "for the approval of Allah," is the only one of its kind ever found in Scandinavia. Strikingly, the ring appears barely worn, which suggests it may have been made specifically for burial. The person buried with it was dressed in traditional Scandinavian clothing, but their jewelry and grave goods hint at far-reaching connections, possibly even conversion to Islam, or direct trade with the Islamic world. The exact origin of the ring and the identity of its owner remain unsolved, but one thing is clear: the Viking world wasn't isolated. It was global, it was connected, and sometimes it was deeply intertwined with cultures far beyond the north. Number 7. Spider God Mural of Northern Peru. In January 2021, a group of archaeologists revealed a 3,200-year-old spider mural in northern Peru, painted in vivid colors on an adobe wall near the site of Quebrada Santo Domingo. The figure of the spider appears to be holding a ceremonial knife, an unusual detail that's still being debated. Researchers believe the mural was created by the Cupiznique culture, possibly as part of rituals linked to agriculture or rain. Spiders, often associated with fertility and water in South American belief systems, may have symbolized life-giving forces. Its location near a river supports the theory that it was a protective deity. Unfortunately, the surrounding temple complex didn't survive intact. Centuries of erosion and modern farming likely destroyed much of the site. Still, the mural itself offers a rare look at early religious expression in the Andes. The combination of imagery, geography, and symbolism makes it one of the more visually and culturally significant discoveries in recent years, even if many of its meanings remain unsolved. Number 6. Bronze Age Hoard. In 2013, Philip Cooper spent his free time scanning farmland in Carmarthenshire, Wales, using a metal detector. What he found was amazing. He didn't expect to uncover a 3,000-year-old hoard of Bronze Age artifacts, but that's exactly what happened. Among the items recovered were 2 cake-shaped copper ingots and a gold hair ring wrapped in silver. Experts later confirmed that the objects were originally buried together, although farming equipment had scattered them over time. The ingots were likely used as raw material for tools or weapons, while the hair ring stood out for its design, showing significant wear from years of use. Its two-toned metallic twist is still visually striking today. These weren't ceremonial offerings or random junk. They were valuable, functional items that likely belonged to someone with social standing or specialized skill. Though individually small, together they tell a clear story about life, trade, and craftsmanship in late Bronze Age Britain. Cooper's find is now preserved at the National Museum of Wales, where it offers a rare, tangible look at ancient personal wealth. Number 5. Burned Pretzels of Regensburg. In 2015, during a routine excavation in Regensburg, Germany, archaeologists uncovered something strangely familiar: pretzels. Not symbolic carvings or references to them, but the real thing: charred, 200 to 300-year-old pretzels. Alongside them were remnants of bread and rolls, all found in what was once a baking area. These snacks survived only because they were burned nearly to a crisp during cooking, accidental preservation at its finest. Dorothy A. Mitterer, a spokesperson for the Bavarian Office of Historical Conservation, noted how similar they are to pretzels today, except for one thing: they were much smaller. Their shape, twist, and baking method were nearly identical. They may not be the most dramatic archaeological discovery, but they tell a vivid story about daily life, something we often overlook. Food connects us across time, and in this case, it's a humble snack that's barely changed in over 2 centuries. The modern ancient pretzels are now displayed in Regensburg's Historical Museum as a reminder that even the smallest burnt leftovers can be a direct link to the past. Number 4. Bronze Age Duck Vessel. Near the town of Bailey in northwestern Bulgaria, archaeologists uncovered a ceramic duck-shaped vessel buried within a Bronze Age grave. Found in 2020, the artifact belongs to the encrusted pottery culture, a civilization known for its highly decorative ceramic work that once flourished along the lower Danube. This culture didn't leave behind temples or cities, but their pottery speaks volumes. The duck doesn't contain human remains, but it was placed next to a funerary urn that held cremated ashes, suggesting symbolic or ritual importance. While its exact purpose isn't known, some believe the vessel may have once contained offerings, hair locks, or personal keepsakes of the deceased. Despite the lack of direct evidence, the craftsmanship and choice of form suggest deep cultural meaning. It's one of those rare pieces where beauty and mystery go hand in hand. For now, the duck remains one of the more artistically compelling reminders of how even the smallest items were treated with meaning in ancient burial customs. Number 3. Copper Crown of Chandayan. Excavations in Chandayan, Uttar Pradesh, revealed something rarely found in Indus Valley burials, a copper crown. Estimated to be over 4,000 years old, the crown still sat atop a human skull when archaeologists uncovered it. That alone pointed to the person's high rank. The crown is decorated with a faience bead and a carnelian gemstone, both valuable, both symbolic. What's striking is how uncommon this kind of headgear is in Indus-era graves. Only one other similar crown has ever been recorded, suggesting this wasn't a widespread custom, even among the elite. Nearby, animal bones were discovered inside a mud pot, possibly the remains of a sacrificial offering tied to funeral rituals. Just 100 feet from the grave, signs of a habitation site suggest that this wasn't an isolated burial. There might be more, we mean a lot, waiting to be unearthed, possibly even the remains of a settlement or palace. This single burial hints at status, ceremony, and a unique leadership role that hasn't yet been fully understood. Number 2. Meteorite iron beads of Egypt. In 1911, a set of iron beads was unearthed in a 5,000-year-old tomb at Gerzeh, Egypt. At first glance, they looked like early examples of metalworking until further analysis revealed something extraordinary. These weren't made from terrestrial iron. Their high nickel content and Widman-Stettin crystal patterns confirmed a cosmic origin. They were crafted from meteorite material. That detail pushes their importance far beyond aesthetics. These beads predate Egypt's Iron Age by more than 2 millennia, making them the earliest known use of iron in the region. The people who made them wouldn't have known the scientific source, but they recognized the metal's rarity and treated it as special. Beads like these were reserved for the elite and buried with care. Today, they're considered some of the oldest worked iron objects in the world. Their existence challenges traditional timelines of metallurgy and shows that even in prehistoric Egypt, people were already interacting, whether they knew it or not, with materials from space. Number 1. The Baydale Viking Hoard. Unearthed in 2012 in North Yorkshire, the Baydale Hoard includes nearly 50 Viking artifacts dating back to the 9th and 10th centuries. From ornate brooches and necklaces to a striking sword pommel, the craftsmanship is top tier. What stands out, though, is the unexpected influence. Designs reflect not just Anglo-Saxon styles, which are common in England, but also Russian elements rarely seen in Viking collections. That mix suggests wider networks of contact than most people imagine. These objects weren't randomly scattered, they were buried intentionally, probably as someone's life savings in a time when coins weren't widely used. Back then, value was weighed, not minted. Silver mattered. The hoard's preservation is remarkable, and the artifacts offer a vivid glimpse into Viking society's blend of local and foreign ideas. Rather than a war stash or casual dumping ground, this was a deliberate burial, possibly for protection, possibly as part of a ritual. What's left now is a frozen snapshot of personal wealth and cross-cultural influence, hidden in the soil for over 1,000 years. If you've enjoyed this video, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for hanging with us, and we'll see you soon.